when I was at backstage and I was talking to the guys, I think all of them, I think Walsh, Knowles, all the on-air guys, Walsh, Knowles, and Ben, they all said that they were finding the Trump trial in New York boring. And I have to admit that I can't stop watching it or thinking about it. And I've been trying, I haven't been commenting about it all the time, and some of it I put behind the member wall, but it really is kind of amazing to me. I mean, I'm staring with these big eyes, and I don't think we should get used to this blatant use of the legal system on a former president of the United States and the current frontrunner, obviously the current candidate for the next election, to accuse him with the nothingness that they are accusing him with, right? Again, he's supposed to have written, he didn't write, "This is to keep Stormy Daniels' mouth shut" when he sent her money. He wrote legal expenses because he was paying back Michael Cohen for the money. And they were going to charge him with falsifying records, which is a misdemeanor, but the misdemeanor charge, a statute of limitations had run out. So instead they had to come up with a felony, and Alvin Bragg came up with this thing that he did it in order to commit another crime, which is a felony, but he doesn't say what the crime is. And the only possible crime it could be is a federal crime of fiddling with the election laws over which Bragg has no jurisdiction. So nobody knows what he is charged with. And they keep saying, well, it's a hush money trial. Not illegal to pay a girl to shut up. That's not, I'm sorry, there's no law against that. Maybe it's not the right thing to do. I'm sure it's not the right thing to cheat on your wife with a porn star. He says he didn't do it. But still not a crime. So he's charged with nothing. The former president of the United States, the current candidate, is charged with nothing. And this week, it's unbelievable. I mean, I don't even know why it's not what everybody is talking about all the time. It's not even on the front page of the newspapers because everybody knows. Because everybody knows it's nonsense. Only the guys in the trial and on CNN and MSNBC think anything is really happening. So the defense brought forward a witness to testify against Michael Cohen, who had, was a proven liar. But this is Bob Costello. He's Cohen's former lawyer. And Cohen said that Trump was deeply involved in these payoffs to Stormy Daniels. But Costello says when his client, Michael Cohen, was threatened with prison, he was told he would get a deal if he gave them stuff on Trump. Now, here's what Costello told Jim Jordan at the House Committee on the Weaponization of Government. This is cut 6.
Mr. Costello, I swear to God, Bob, I don't have anything on Donald Trump. Who said that?
Michael Cohen about 10 to 20 times.
So not just once, multiple times he told you that while you were his attorney, while you were in consultation with your client, he said that multiple times.
He not only said that multiple times, but he said that after I said to him, knowing that he was suicidal, Michael, think about this. Isn't it easier to cooperate against Donald Trump than it is to kill yourself? And he still said, I swear to God, Bob, I don't have anything.
When you laid it all out, you said, dude, you better cooperate. If you got something truthful on the president, you better let me have it or you're in trouble. And he came back with the exact same statement.
So this is Cohen, suicidal, saying, I could get a better deal if I turn over Trump, but I just don't have anything on him. And then, of course, he gets a better deal and turns up in the courtroom of corrupt Judge Juan Merchant. And I have to say, this guy, Justice Juan Manuel Merchant, he's getting every Trump case. The odds against this are amazing. He presided over the conviction of the Trump Organization's chief financial officer, Alan Weisselberg, and now he's been scheduled to handle Steve Bannon's money laundering case. This is amazing. Who could have ever thought the odds, so many judges in New York City, and yet all the Trump cases come to this one incredibly dirty guy, right? And so the defense puts Costello on the stand and the judge won't let him talk. The prosecution keeps objecting. He keeps sustaining the objections. Costello can't say that, in fact, Michael Cohen was lying. What everybody knows, he's not doing. So Costello, he's a real lawyer. This guy was part of the Justice Department in New York. He's an actual elevated lawyer. He starts rolling his eyes and at one point he goes, geez. Merchant throws everybody out, including the press. And for some reason, Alan Dershowitz was there and he was not thrown out. And Dershowitz describes what happens. This is cut 7.
I saw him go berserk when Costello dared to raise his eyebrows after the judge made ruling after ruling after ruling that was unfair. I raised my eyebrows. I stared at the judge, and then the judge did something I have never seen in my 60 years of practicing law all over the world. He said to this key witness, I'm going to strike your testimony and not allow you to testify if you ever look at me again that way.
So this is what he said. This is from the transcript. Sir, your conduct is contemptuous right now. I'm putting you on notice that your conduct is contemptuous. If you try to stare me down one more time, I will remove you from the stand. I will strike his entire testimony. Do you understand me? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You can't testify because I don't like the way you're looking at me. I don't like the way you're looking at me, so you can't testify, and I will strike your testimony. So obviously, I mean, this judge is incredibly corrupt. And when they asked Dershowitz, how did the jury take it? He said, juries love judges. And I've been in court. I know this is true. The jury is looking at him as a benevolent tyrant. He's in control. Everything is fine. When they're in the room, he's polite, he's nice, and then he goes off after everybody is gone. And the corruption is so deep. You know, when I've always said this, when people get to a certain level of corruption, they start to do it openly because that's part of the corruption is I am so strong that I can do anything I want. That's kind of, it's almost the threat involved in the corruption itself. So at some point, if Trump is convicted, it will be overturned, but that's not the point. The point is to hamper him in his campaign, to hopefully turn people against him if that's what's happening, but obviously it's not, but I'll get back to that for a minute. So Trump, unbelievably, he can't travel far. He can't get away from court. He's got to show up in court. So he goes to the South Bronx. Now, the South Bronx has some decent places in it, but parts of the South Bronx are the hood, and they're not very nice. And the people there are, a lot of people there are black, but people there of all kinds of colors, and it's AOC's district, right? So he goes into AOC's district and he hammers them. And this is kind of amazing. This is this guy who's on trial. He's being treated like garbage. He's not being treated fairly. He shouldn't be on trial. He's charged with nothing. I'm sorry, I can't get over this. I cannot get over the fact that this is not riveting the nation. We are so used to guys like Biden and the Democrats and the deep state. We are so used to them violating every norm of American governance that we don't even see it anymore. But now he's in AOC's district. This is cut 12 I want to play. Here's Trump giving his speech in her district.
Very sadly, in recent years, we have also seen our city destroyed by bad radical left pro-crime policy that virtually everyone, Republican, Democrat, Independent, everyone, you all know it's a disaster. You know the names of these lunatic policies. No cash bail. Somebody kills somebody. Go out. No bail. Don't worry. Go out and kill a couple of more people. Defund our great police. Defund the police. Sanctuary cities. Release violent repeat offenders from jail. Joe Biden supports all of this insanity and much more, but millions of people across New York know it's crazy.
So this is right in the lion's den. He has walked into the lion's den. And there's a couple of things about this. Well, there was one guy who was interviewed who really said something important. This is the guy. Play him.
What are you here for?
I'm here to watch the Trump gathering rally here.
What do you think about him being here?
I think it's great. I think it's dope. From my generation, from what I know, this is the first time president has actually came to the hood. I know presidents have came to the Bronx before, but we're talking about Woodlawn, Riverdale. He has came to Morrisania, South Bronx, the hood. So I respect that.
See, you have heard me talk about this since my podcast began, is that the Republicans have this obnoxious habit of giving up on people. They think, the blacks are reliably in the pockets of the Democrats. What's the point of campaigning? And when Mitt Romney did it like an idiot, he went to the NAACP, which is simply a left-wing organization, and had to withstand days of being attacked by the press. I mean, just, absolutely vivisected by the press. But when you go to the people there, when you go to the people and talk to them, it's a different story. Why? Because they're people. They need stuff. So Fox went out. AOC AOC said he shouldn't be in my district. He shouldn't be going in my district. And I'll play a little bit of that in a minute. But first, Fox went out and just interviewed some of the people there. I'll play some of this.
Where are you from?
The Bronx, actually.
I'm originally from the Bronx and from New York.
I'm from the Bronx.
Right here in the Bronx, New York. This is home, right here.
AOC says if you're not a Democrat, you don't belong here in the Bronx.
Right.
What do you say?
I disagree with that.
I don't think she should be here in the Bronx. I actually don't know any Democrats living in the Bronx.
Look, AOC, look at the tremendous support for Mr. Donald J. Trump. You need to tell her then she need to stay out the Bronx because look at all the people around. Everybody's here for Trump. I am a Democrat, and I belong here.
He's wearing a Trump hat. This is, how can I describe this? It is as if when the law comes after you, it is not a joke. When the law, I mean, they could put Trump in jail. They can put anybody in jail. I mean, they can charge you with something and not tell you what it is. That's opposed to the Constitution. The Fifth Amendment says they have to tell you what it is. The New York Constitution says they have to tell you what you're charged with. They have done none of that. They have violated all those things. The case should have been thrown out. If they can do it to Trump, they can do it to you. They can do it to me. They can do it to anybody. It is amazing. And so this gigantic monster, like this Godzilla-like monster of the law, comes after Trump, and Trump punches him in the gonads. You know, he's in the South Bronx making speeches about how corrupt they are. I mean, you have to sit there and think, it's a great country. You know, you can still take these people on if you've got the guts, which Trump does. So AOC's reaction, I got to play that too because it's great. It is cut eight.
By the way, he's doing it in the South Bronx not to make a point, but because he's got court. And the man practically has the legal version of an ankle bracelet around him, and he can't leave the 5 boroughs because he always has to be in court. And so it is truly an embarrassment to him.
So this shapely dimwit actually says the quiet part out loud. He's in court because we want him there as if he had cuffs on. We want to keep him there because if he campaigns, we're going to get blown away at the polls. That is what they're saying. So it makes Trump a hero. And it doesn't matter, I always say this, I have problems with the way he behaves. I have problems with some of the stuff he's done. I like his policies, but I do have problems with the way he talks and calls people names and all that stuff. But you know what? Part of heroism is situational. Like Oskar Schindler was a Nazi spy, but when it came time to do the right thing, he did. He became a hero. Trump has everything against him. He has all the power on earth, the mightiest country on earth. The government is against him. The courts are against him. The media is against him. The academy and the intelligentsia are against him. All the centers of power are against him, and he doesn't even quail. They have turned him. He was a president before. He was a star before. They have turned him into a hero. And this is the thing. If things are that bad, if they have got everything rigged, if they have got everything sewn up, if they are crushing us, if they are silencing us, if we can't move, if we can't breathe, if America is over, how come this guy is beating the living crap out of them when they're throwing everything they have against him? And why are they throwing everything they have against him if they're not afraid? If they're not afraid, if they're so invulnerable, if they're so tough, if they're Saddam Hussein and they can just take people, why are they bothering? Why are they moving heaven and earth to try and stop him? If this was a tyranny, would they go to the trouble? They wouldn't have to go to the trouble. Look what Putin does. Look what, Putin does to the people who get in his way. And I'm not making any, I don't want to give him any ideas, but I'm just saying they can't get at him. And as big as they are, as strong as they are, all the power at their command, and he's still taking them on, and I think he's beating them. I think he's beating them. If this fight were over, they would not be so afraid. So maybe we shouldn't be so afraid. For more unparalleled greatness, like and subscribe. And don't forget to subscribe to The Andrew Klavan Show wherever you get your podcasts.